Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Thursday, April the 18th. We are on day 4 of our life cycle of a chicken unit. We have 17 days left. What we're going to do this morning is go through a quick review of what we've learned so far. So on day 1, the head, brain, and eyes began to form. We wrote in our stories about incubator, chicken, and eggs. Those were the 3 vocabulary words that you guys had. On day 2, we learned that the veins and heart began to form, and the heart begins to beat. We had some fantastic writing about what that would sound like inside the egg, what he might think that sound is. And then we also chose our character in the story to be either a hen or a rooster, gave our character a name. We learned about the body shapes and the different jobs, the functions of the rooster and the hen. And then we learned our first verb, which was observe. We talked a lot about things that you've already observed scientifically this year. Yesterday on day 3, we learned the term embryo, and we had a second verb, rotate or to turn over. And on day 3, the beak, wings, and legs began to form. So let's look at today. Today is day 4. Look at this growth right here between day 1, 2, 3, and now day 4. And something super exciting today that I can't wait to hear in your writing about is that the tongue begins to form. So we are going to have a lot of funny stories today. Yesterday we had a funny story about the wings beginning to form and how the chicken thinks he can fly and where he might fly to. And we had chickens flying to Disney World and the moon and McDonald's. And today we're going to be talking all about the tongue and what that feels like and what that wet sticky thing is in his mouth. So I can't wait to see your creative writing. Your vocabulary words for today are nest and life cycle. So a nest is a place made out of straw where a hen lays her eggs. In a chicken coop, you usually have, depending on how many chickens, you usually have a few of these nesting boxes, they call them, and you can put most anything in there. They'll sit on top of most anything that's warm and safe to lay their eggs on. And also an interesting fact is that we talked about already how each hen doesn't lay one egg every day. Sometimes they'll go a day or 2 without laying one. And in the wintertime, they'll stop completely. All hens will stop completely laying. So they'll go 4 or 5 months without laying at all in the wintertime. But if you have a group, let's say of maybe 20 hens, and you have 15 of them that lay that morning, and there are maybe 8 in this nesting box and 7 over here in this nesting box, one of the hens who wants to be broody, who wants to actually claim those eggs as hers, will come over and sit on top of them and start the 21-day process. Now, they don't all have to be her babies, right? So 8 other hens could have laid those eggs in this nest, and 7 other hens could have laid them over here. But she's going to claim these as hers, and she's going to sit on top of them for 21 days. And when they're hatched, when they're born, they will believe she is their mom, and they'll follow her around everywhere. She'll actually, be the leader, be the mom of them, even though maybe only one of them is one that she hatched. So that's an interesting fact. Our second word today is life cycle, and we've talked about this a lot as we've done different science experiments in the classroom. The life cycle is the stages that a living thing goes through in its life. So for a chicken, we have an egg. Yesterday we learned the term embryo. Then 21 days later, we're going to have a baby chick, and then we're going to watch that baby chick grow up. It's going to be either a hen or a rooster, what their function is, and then they will have another life cycle to begin, right? The hen will lay the egg and it will start again. One last thing I want to do with you this morning, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to see much, but I want to try it. Our first official day to candle is tomorrow on day 5. So today I'm going to take out our lightest colored egg. I'm going to pull out one of these Americana eggs that are a light green in color. And I'm going to turn on our candle right here and set it on top. And we're going to see if we can see anything. Now, this is early. Remember, this is early. We're not really supposed to candle until tomorrow. But I want to show you if we can see something right here. And sometimes I can see it better than you can on the camera, or sometimes you can see it better than I can. But do you see that spot right there? That dark spot right there. Do you see little red lines coming out of it? The veining that's happening coming out of that dark spot. You see it? So that is not just a plain yellow yolk bouncing around inside. That is growth. So this egg for sure has been fertilized. We're going to continue to watch that little dark spot right there. That is probably the chicken's eye. And we're going to continue to see these veins and things come out. We're going to see the growth. But this one for sure has been fertilized. We're going to hold on to it. So what I'll start doing tomorrow in our incubators, I'll put the ones that I know are fertilized right up here at the beginning. And as I find ones that I think are not fertilized, I'll put them near the back, and we'll watch them for another few days. And then remember how we talked about how we have to get rid of the eggs that are not fertilized, because they will explode in the incubator. And I have had that happen, and it's horrible. It stunk up the whole school and went all over. The smell went all over all the hallways, so we don't want to do that again. But we will find out how many out of 24 eggs, how many we have that are fertilized. This one is for sure fertilized. How exciting. All right, thank you for joining us today on day 4. We have 17 days left.